recording. Okay, we are going to get going tonight. Thank you guys all for joining us. My name's Melody Brandon, and Toby is going to be joining me as well. She'll share a little bit about herself in a second, but we are joining you guys tonight to share all about doing doTERRA as a business. We've been both doing it for quite a while now and absolutely love it. It's an integral part of our family, and we absolutely love sharing and teaching people how to do the business as well. So we hope you guys learn a little bit more tonight about the business. My story in a nutshell. My name is Melody Brandon. I'm over on Obsessed with Essentials on Instagram. I homeschool I had on this webinar, I had 2 littles and I had to change it to 3 because I just had a 6-month-old now. She turned 6 months today. I can't believe it. So I have an almost 11-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 6-month-old. We decided to go for it again. It's been super fun. So, I used to have a previous business. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Well, actually, that's my story, so I'll share that right now. So in a nutshell, my story is that I was a previous bakery owner. I actually went to college to be an elementary school teacher, and then I decided I fell in love with baking and cooking and went to pastry school. And then I started doing a bakery business out of my apartment kitchen, and it sort of took off, really went big on blogging and all of that. Opened up a bakery here in Long Beach, California, and sort of exploded. Ended up having 2 locations, 40 employees, while I had my 2 little ones, and it was a whirlwind. Got in all the magazines, on all the Food Network TV shows and all that kind of stuff. And from the outside looking in, it was super successful, but in my and I loved it, don't get me wrong, and I had over 200,000 followers on Instagram, and it was great. But on the other side, it wasn't fitting into my life as a mother anymore. Once I became a mother, it was just too much to handle. 40 employees, 2 locations, a business that never closed, basically, right? It had to be open almost every single day of the year. Per our agreement with the Irvine Company here in California, was a little intense. And so I found myself, I always say, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's how I kind of felt as a business owner. I went into owning my own business because I wanted freedom over my life. I wanted to make my own schedule. I didn't want any cap on my income. I wanted creative control. And yet I sort of felt like my employees owned my life, right? Their schedule, if they came and went, my business hours, right? The Irvine Company or the place I was leasing from, all of that sort of owned my life. And I didn't have my weekends. I was really overworked. I felt like all of those years that I put in, the money investment, all of that kind of stuff, the time, 90 hours a week I used to work, I thought it would pay off. And at least for that business and how it was, I never could get to where it was flowing. We grossed a lot of income, but there was so much expense, right? Just alone, my rent from the Irvine Company per month for 1 location, not even 2, was $7,000 a month. That was just in renting the location, right? So many costs associated. And even though I had hit what seemed like the pinnacle of my career, it just was like chaos in my life. And so I got into natural health and wellness just by mistake. Didn't grow up that way at all. I was pregnant and started to look into what I was putting into my body. My sister-in-law used essential oils on a trip. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard about these. I got it as a Christmas present, as a gift. And I genuinely couldn't stop sharing about it because they worked so well. So for me, that in a sense was something that when I started, I just loved it. Someone said, the lady who helped me get started said, would you like to host a class and get a free diffuser? And I was like, yeah, I want a free diffuser, right? So I hosted that class, and I got that free diffuser, and about 10 to 15 people, I think it was years back now, all wanted to get started just because they saw me, someone regular who had never used essential oils before, use these little bottles, talk about how they worked for me. And they really were those miracle voodoo oils in a sense. It worked really well. If you could just mute yourself if you joined in, that would be great. And so for me, they were such a great tool for my family that I couldn't not share it with others. And that's how it started with me. I never thought about it as a business whatsoever. I had a business, right? 40 employees, 2 locations. But as time went on, people that I shared with, they started doing the business underneath me, even though I was more thinking of it as a sharing thing, right? It wasn't a business side. And long story short, finally I went to my first doTERRA event and light bulbs went off in my head, and I saw it as a company, right? I didn't even know about direct sales or MLMs. We'll talk about that in a second, or anything like that. I just knew these oils really impacted my life. But when I saw the lady above me hit a higher rank at doTERRA and knew how much money that was, I couldn't believe that she was pulling in that kind of income with the amount of work I had put in, and she was getting a higher income than me. I kind of was like, are you joking me? Right? Like, I've done this for years, my bakery business, so much income. My parents have, invested in this business, all of that. And yet she's making more monthly taking home. So that's when I really started looking at it as a business. And even while I had my 40 employees and 2 bakeries, 2 little ones, I decided to go all in with doTERRA. And I hit diamond in about 10 months, and then blue diamond a year later. And then I've been maintaining a blue diamond organization for the last 5 years, and we are headed towards presidential. So that in a nutshell is my story. I've since sold my bakeries, so now I'm a full-time stay-at-home mama with my 3 kids. I'm homeschooling, get to do life on our own terms, and it truly has blessed our family so much. So that is my story in a nutshell, and we would love to have you share, Toby, your story with us.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Your story is so fantastic. And following that up is like,
Yeah, it's
okay. But it's just so funny how similar it is. I was not a bakery owner or I didn't own my own business. My husband was the one who owned fishing lodges in Alaska here, 2 of them. And so I was a stay-at-home mother and I love it. I mean, I still am. Of 2 when I first started using doTERRA's oils. And I started as just a customer, a very skeptical customer at that. And I started using the oils and I had a few wins. And so once you come over to using essential oils, sometimes these oils really have to win themselves over to you. And I had a few really key experiences right in the beginning that blew my mind when it came to using them on my children. I had 2 at the time, an infant and a toddler. And so once I had those experiences, I felt deep, deep in my heart and in my soul that this was missing from every mother's closet, every mother's toolbox for their children. And so I very simply started just telling my girlfriends about it. We were all in the same boat. Literally, every single one of my girlfriends in my close knit circle had an infant and a toddler. And so I started just saying, oh, you need oils. Oh, you need oils. Oh, you need oils for every little thing anytime we got together. And so it wasn't that I was trying to build a business. It was just the idea of I love to share what works well for me. I love to tell people about the coffee I drink, a pair of jeans that really makes me look slim because I have huge hips. Anything along those lines. And so it was the same and no different with essential oils. And so when little paychecks started coming in the mail, I was a little confused, and my husband, he was even more confused, but I didn't care. Like, I didn't care. Didn't care about the business side at all. And so back then, this was before we had 2 accounts. And so everyone enrolled as a wellness advocate, which meant if you were ordering on LRP, then you had the opportunity to earn a commission if other people ordered from you or with you. And so that's what my girlfriends were doing. So it was really funny, and that's basically how I got started. However, it wasn't long after that where um, it actually snowballed very quickly for me in sharing oils with my friends. And I don't want to get lost from my story about telling my husband, because my husband was like kept asking me where this paycheck was coming from, and I was like, I'm not really sure. So Melody's going to share that a little bit today in the compensation plan, so you'll be able to leave with a very basic idea of how you can start making money with doTERRA. But what I was getting was just those small commission checks in the mail, and he eventually had to go and do the research to figure out how I was getting paid, which is so funny to me. So still, my husband and I do work together in this business, because shortly after that, his business partnership exploded, imploded, like bad things happened, not good things. And we realized that we needed to have a second financial outlet. And so he supported me. He hung out with the kids. He was the parent to my children while I taught classes, and I took decided to take this little sharing experience of oils with my girlfriends and took it on the road. I did what was called Diamond Club. And I started teaching this and seeing it, or teaching these oils and seeing this more as a business, as a financial avenue for supporting our family. And in Diamond Club, I went up a rank each month. So it's a 4-month program. So I actually started out as a kind of a premier situation and went premier, silver, gold, and platinum, all in that span of months in a very short period of time. Traveling around, my husband and I were in a camper um, with our 2 kids, and we loved it. We were down in the States, so we were away from Alaska, away from the snow and the cold, and got to travel. And I literally went to all the families and the friends and the people that the people here in Alaska knew. I went and visited their people down there. I said, hook me up with your people down there. I'll go teach them classes. We'll spread the word about these oils. And that is really how I started building my business. And it wasn't very long after that where we also hit diamond. And Brad Foley came on board at that point as my business partner in being able to help with business pieces of my business. So Brad and I do work it together. And now we've been in here 10 years now, working together. We just helped to open India as a country for doTERRA. Which is a huge call on my heart. I love to travel. And so traveling internationally, being able to do that on all the facets with doTERRA has been another incredible part about this business. Brad and I and Melody get to go to Bulgaria in a couple of months on a trip that we all earned. So there are so many different reasons why you could be attracted to this doTERRA business, and so many reasons why I fell into it. But hopefully you'll be able to learn just a little bit more about why you would want to align and with doTERRA as a business today as we talk more through this.
I love Toby's story. So awesome. And you can see, I think that's one of the reasons why when I was in that room for that first event with doTERRA, it was a business event. The lady above me invited me to go to it. And I looked around the room and it was people from all walks of life, all
Mhm.
ages. And I knew what their ranks were because you could see, right, their ranks. And I literally thought, if they could do it, I could do it, right? And that's what we hope you walk away with today is you could think, if they could do it, I could do it. Because it's absolutely true. If you don't resonate with anything of our stories, you don't have to, right? You could have a completely different story, right? And I guarantee you, there's someone in doTERRA that's exactly like you, right? And we're going to show you some people. I asked one time, like, okay, people in the higher ranks, what was your, story before doTERRA? And you're going to see there's everyone from hairdressers to stay-at-home moms to yoga to professors to doctors, all routes of life, right? Walks of life, who have found how doTERRA could either come alongside as a supplemental income or even replace the income in their life. And it's just so awesome to hear everybody's story because it truly is a business that resonates with so many people in different ways, and they can use it to serve and impact others. So I'm going to talk a little bit first, and then we're going to go back and forth so you can hear from us. But I know we're from different communities, right? So we have people here from Dr. Tina's team, we have Toby's team, and myself. We are 3 separate leaders in doTERRA. We actually have no interaction business-wise together, but we love collaborating under the umbrella of doTERRA because our entire doTERRA community is not about competition. It's about educating, supporting, serving, and collaborating. So you might think like, why would you be working and doing a call with a competitor, right? Because in a sense, Toby, you could think of her as a competitor, but no, we have done events together. We love collaborating, sharing ideas, cheering each other along, being that listening ear, right? Because that is all about doTERRA's culture. And so within our own teams, we offer certain things. We have our own culture, but overall, all of our teams are really passionate about educating, empowering, and serving. And that is doTERRA's mission as a whole. So hopefully you'll get that, from our presentation. Let me make this a little smaller. So I like talking to people about what doTERRA can offer and thinking about traditional employment versus authentic network marketing. Now, the reason we say authentic is because most people that come to these calls do have that one person that they have in their life. They're like, I do not want to be that kind of person. That person bothers me all the time. They're always talking about business. They're trying to get me to do something every month is a different business. That's not in our minds authentic network marketing, right? So we do different, doTERRA does it different, right? And people with within doTERRA do. And so we really are that service, that heart about the person over the sale, that kind of thing, really impacting their lives. So that's what we mean by authentic. But
What are
with
they
tradition,
doing?
with traditional employment, if you don't mind muting yourself, you really have to think about you're trading hours for dollars. Every single hour you trade, you get a set amount of dollars. And a lot of times it's capped, right? You have a limit on advancements. I was just talking with someone and she said, I'm not even eligible for a raise for another 5 years, right? And so many people have stories like that. That was one of the ladies that decided to do the business years ago with me. She said, I'm at the top of my corporate ladder and yet I will never get higher than this amount, right? This is literally my cap. I don't like capping, people to cap me. And yet a lot of times in our careers, we are capped, right? You're reliant on your employer's vision and not your own. Most of the time you have to have prerequisites and costly education and limited time freedom, right? Like I even said within my own business that I own myself, I also had limited time freedom on the weekends. I worked every weekend, right? It got really draining after like 8 years of solid wedding weekends, right? Because I made cakes and they were weddings and they were birthdays and I was always in the weekend. Even when I was at church, I was getting calls about orders. Oh, something went wrong. I'd have to leave church, things like that. So I didn't love that, right? Now, authentic network marketing, you can. Now, this is not a get rich quick scheme by any means, right? This is a get rich long scheme in a sense. If you are, consistent, if you serve, all of that, then you build a stable foundational business. You can have true lasting residual income, unlimited reach and earning power, reliant on your own vision, no prerequisites, free education, and a freedom to choose your own schedule. Those are all things we really love about authentic network marketing. Now, what makes doTERRA unique? So 85% of those that join doTERRA are just people that come to buy the product. Because why? The product works. Now, so many other businesses, especially in direct sales, it's almost like they're pitching the business over the quality of product. And I wouldn't feel good about working for a company like that. I truly fell in love with the product. And you'll realize that most people that come to this business, now some people just come on because the business model is so amazing, how doTERRA has it set up. But a lot of people, the majority of people come because they had an experience with a product that let me get some mute.
And we have four buckets.
That changed their life, right? So it was a product that changed their life and they couldn't not help share it with others. And so 85% of people just want to buy the product. And that what makes this business so, steady, because the product works, it's amazing, and people reorder it. I found this to be true in my own life because when I said I was just sharing, right? I still had my other businesses. I wasn't considering a business whatsoever. I didn't even know how to log into the business part of my website, right? When I got pregnant with my second child and we got a house remodel, I literally stopped sharing for an entire year. Now, this is not everyone's story. This is just mine. So I'm sharing my own story. But since for about a year and a half straight, I was sharing quite a lot about oils, right? So a lot of customers were still reordering. People started doing the business side underneath me, even though I wasn't even able to support them really that much. I was still sharing. But then I was like, I don't have time for this in my life because I wasn't thinking about it as a business. I had a real business in my mind, is what I thought. And so I stopped sharing. I stopped signing people up. And for a whole year, I did not hold one class. And week after week, I kept getting checks in the mail. I would send a picture to my husband every single time I got a check because they would come to my bakery. That's just how I had it set up. And I'd be like, look what I got this week. This is kind of crazy. How did I make this money? I didn't know. Sort of like Toby said, I didn't know either. And I'm like, why am I getting more money? I literally stopped sharing. Now, this is not, again, everyone's story. Most of the time, if you don't, support your business, it's not going to keep going as much. But this just shows you how well the product works. Because if the product
Mhm.
didn't work, people would stop ordering, right? People kept ordering and people started doing the business, and more people started doing the business because the business model worked underneath me. Even when I took a full year off really from doing that, that really showed me that, oh man, maybe I need to look at this business model. What is this residual income? How come no one ever told me about this? I thought the pinnacle was owning my own brick and mortar business. That in my mind was time and financial freedom. And yet I wasn't feeling that in my life at all. So that just goes to show you that really 85% are solid customers that keep reordering, right? That's the other thing about our business. I love a lot of other companies, but a lot of them are not reordering style businesses. So ours have a 65% retention rate on people ordering at least once every 3 months, compared to a national industry average is only 8%. 8 to 65%. Now, in my mind, if I work for a company and I'll just give for an example, Norwex. I love the Norwex products. I hosted a party. I bought it all, but I've never really reordered. The wash rags lasted a long time. I didn't have to get anything else. And so really, it wasn't a reoccurring product that someone had to order over and over again. Whereas with doTERRA, let me make sure we have everyone muted real quick. Whereas with doTERRA, we have vitamins, we have cleaning products, we have our new metabolic line, right? These are all products that people order on a monthly basis because they're amazing and they need it in their life. And then 15%, like maybe some of you on here, are wishing to build a business with doTERRA. Let's see, Charlotte, do you mind just muting yourself? I think you aren't unmuted real quick. Okay, why doTERRA? Most tested, most trusted essential oil company in the world, largest essential oil company. So this is a quality company you are potentially wanting to partner with. One of the largest direct sale companies in the US, in our opinion, and when you look at it, one of the best comp plans, right? One lady that decided to do the business with me years ago said she knew she liked the product, but this was a business decision for her. And she said her and her husband went from direct sale company to direct sale company and looked at their compensation plans, that alone, and she could not believe doTERRA's compensation plan compared to other direct sale companies. Privately owned, which you'll learn means a huge amount in this industry. There's no other people that we have to answer to, in a sense. Like, we are just the owners or original owners. It's 100% debt free. They literally, mortgaged their homes and leveraged them so they could get the funds to keep full control over this company. And that makes all the difference in quality, transparency, and moving in a way you want with the company. Whereas a lot of other companies sell out, and that is not something we have to worry about. Ethically and sustainably sourced worldwide, works directly with farmers, no middlemen, open in 120 plus markets. So you can see, Toby, mentioned India, right? I have leaders over there in India as well. I just talked with someone who's wanting to open Chile and become a founder. So really a worldwide business led by incredible people that both Toby and myself have met in person many times, stayed in their homes, and they're awesome. Marketing and healthcare professionals with a reputation for integrity, and a lot of amazing philanthropy work that you can stand behind and feel like you're working for a great company. Also, an untapped opportunity. Some people think, oh, but a lot of people know about essential oils. The truth is that 66% of the US has never tried essential oils, right? I find this to be true all the time. I've been doing this for probably 10 years now. And literally last night at the Super Bowl game, a lady was like, can I get some more info? Right? And she brought it up and I didn't even mention anything. I think my friend there was showing her what she used, which was the new metabolic system. And she was telling her, yeah, because the lady commented on her hair growth. She noticed that she couldn't believe how much hair my friend had grown. And she's like, yeah, I'm doing this. And that's what I've been doing the last 4 months. And she's like, okay, well, I need to know about it. So even myself, not even doing it, one of my friends that loves the product, sharing it with their friend, and here I am connecting with them, right? 61% can't even name an essential oil company. 44% do not recognize a single essential oil. So this is absolutely untapped. And yet, 53% of non-natural product users rank healthy lifestyle as very important. And more every single year, this is what people know they need to focus on, is their health, right? And they're willing to put dollars there. 80% of those not using natural products are open to trying them. So this market grows bigger and bigger each year. And it's a market that you want to be, sorry, got a little mosquito, lovely, a part of. Okay, why is doTERRA different? Amongst a million other things, we're going to talk about these a little bit more. Toby will talk about our co-impact sourcing, right? Our Healing Hands Foundation. We source our oils from the best parts around the world where they naturally grow, and we work one-on-one with the farmers that have indigenously grown these products. So they're the best quality, and we're really impacting so many lives. So it's not just the bottle that someone gets that's impacted. We're literally impacting thousands upon thousands of lives by those that are harvesting the product that go into the bottles. And that's just as important to doTERRA. We have certified pure therapeutic grade. Now, this is something doTERRA has come up with because in the essential oil world, nothing's regulated. So they came up with this so you could know what this means and how this company is set apart. Every single bottle is tested over 50 times. We have our Source to You website. So many things that you can feel comfortable with the product that you're sharing and your customers are using. We have medical partnerships, and the Healing Hands Foundation, Toby will talk about a little bit more, is something that really, when you learn about it, you will feel so great working for a company like this. She's going to share about why not all MLMs are created equally and why partnering with doTERRA would be a great idea.
Awesome. So why an MLM? Like Melody said, a lot of times, many of us, myself included, I said I started as a skeptic of essential oils, but also definitely did not want to align with what I presumed to be just another network marketing or MLM company. However, it's been really incredible in the last, so I would say the first 2 to 3 years, it was really incredible to learn all of the different ways that a multi-level marketing business is one of the most legitimate businesses. Now, my husband will come at it from a different angle and say, tell me what business is not multi-level marketing in that the people below are working and making commissions and making the people up top more money. So it really goes both ways, but an MLM is really the most efficient way to build a pipeline. And it's built on our business model, and the model that doTERRA chose to help us to teach other people about essential oils is multi-level marketing, network marketing, person to person, you to me, mom to mom, talking to each other about what is working for my children, or like Melody's friends were talking about what was helping her hair grow, right? So when you have a network marketing company or you have a good MLM, the built-in business model is there for you. Okay. And so doTERRA does all of that piece, all of those pieces for you. And that includes product sourcing, order fulfillment, billing, customer service. We owned, or my husband, I will take myself out of it. My husband owned his own fishing lodge. Melody owned her own bakery. They had to do all of that. They were an all-in-one package in one person, right? Or had to hire it out, which costs extraordinary amounts of money. In this business model, that is all built in for you. There's a built-in education system, and let me tell you, it is so juicy, so juicy, especially if you have a heart for the health and wellness space. If you love digging into the why and understanding health for yourself, for your own health challenges or goals, as well as for your children. Very, very good education system to help teach you about the product on a very deep level. I have a girlfriend that I love and adore. She represents another marketing company, and I went to one of her experiences to experience her product, and I asked her just a pretty simple question about ingredients. And coming from this industry, I realized a fluff answer when I got one, and I was so disappointed because I had thought that there would be a little bit more there would have been a little bit more meat there, especially coming from this person in particular. But I'm here to tell you that doTERRA has such an amazing, really vast knowledge on how and why we use these oils and products the way that we do. So we'll be teaching you, and they have a lot of training on all the products, as well as how to build your own business and then leading your own business team. And then your overhead costs, your point of entry cost is very, very low. Number one, you start with your LRP, which is your own loyalty rewards order. And coming from a person who wasn't involved or interested in the business from day one, I only purchased my LRP out of pocket once, and that's 1 month. Okay. So Melody will explain it in a minute, but it's the only requirement to earn a commission with doTERRA is a 100 PV point value loyalty rewards order. And I paid for that once. So when we talk about very low overhead, you literally cannot build a business to the size that Melody and I have done. And also Dr. Tina, with such low overhead. It's just inconceivable. Brad, when he hosts these calls with me, likes to drop numbers about what he spent on his fishing lodge. I'm sure Melody, and she also shared with her bakery. The and point of entry cost on those type of businesses is just massive. Okay.
Totally.
So yeah. Okay. So this is the one that where Melody talked about. She asked probably in the diamond or in the blue diamond group about where everybody came from beforehand. And as you can see, just scroll through those very quickly. These high level leaders from doTERRA from every walk of life. And they came from every previous background: business owner, managed a Lululemon store, massage therapist, CPA, bakery owner, homeschool, stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home mom, vending company owner, so many different professions previously. And it really truly doesn't matter what you're doing now if you have a heart and a desire to align yourself with another financial opportunity. Okay. So here's where a pipeline really begins. Okay. So there's a story that we talk about a lot. But I don't actually know if this is a real story originally or if it's just an illustration that we use to give you an idea of what it can mean to build a pipeline. So initially there was a man who hauled buckets for living. Okay. And every day he hauled water from the nearest source to his village, which was miles away. And if he wanted to make more money, he would just simply work longer and haul more buckets in a day. And after many years, he grew pretty weary of hauling buckets, okay? Literally hauling buckets of water to go and sell them in his village. And he thought, if he used that spare time to build a pipeline from the water source to his village, he would eventually be able to not haul buckets every day anymore. So every day he labored and he hauled his buckets of water to be able to pay, to earn the money that he needs to make. And then he spent his extra time in those days building the pipeline closer and closer to his village. And the day that he turned on that spigot, everything changed. He successfully created a continual supply of water that came automatically to his village, and it improved the lifestyle for the villagers and gave himself a stream of income that wouldn't end, and gave himself a abundant financial pipeline. And so what we want you to really consider now is in what way are you hauling buckets, or you or your spouse, right? Because I was a stay-at-home mother when I started with doTERRA. My husband was the one that was bringing in the paychecks, and we were doing just fine, but it became a need later on. And so many people spend their lives trading hours for dollars, working for other people, for other companies, and they lack from fulfillment or a sense of purpose. And so with doTERRA, anyone can choose to create more freedom in their life by building a lasting income pipeline and alongside of their hauling buckets for a few years. And then as you're able to replace that income for yourself or for your spouse, both, you can turn on that financial pipeline for yourself. So you'll hear us talk about pipelines every once in a while, but that's where that story, or that's where that comes from.
And I love too that when you really look at millionaires or the most wealthy people in America, they have multiple streams of income, not just one typically, multiple streams. So even if you're like, well, I have a good job, right? Maybe you're a nurse and you're like, I get paid a lot and I like it, it's fulfilling. Well, multiple streams of income is always good, right? It's always a smart financial decision to have multiple streams of income because you never know what's going to come up in life, right? And the one thing too I love about doTERRA is this is something you can actually gift your children. This is something that's a legacy business that you're building, and it can be passed on, and that in itself is such a huge gift for your family and something that you really can't do with a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so true. We're just now being that doTERRA is what, 14, 15 years. I have a hair on my lip. 14, 15 years old, just now starting to see some of that older generation of original doTERRA leaders and builders and founders and their kids coming up into the diamond ranks and stuff. And it's really fun to see and just have that. Not that all of our children will want to build doTERRA with us, but was it Seth Risenbay's son who
Yeah.
was like, why wouldn't I? As just a college age kid coming out thinking, this seems so unwise to do anything other. So
I think he's
anyways,
already a platinum and literally traveling around the world with his dad. Like, I mean, he's like, okay, this
yeah,
is pretty great.
yeah, super funny kid too. All right, so here's the other thing. And gosh, we've already said a lot of reasons why you would want to align with doTERRA. But truly, where the rubber meets the road with doTERRA is their co-impact sourcing and their Healing Hands Foundation. So the co-impact sourcing is their sourcing model. Now, if you were at my intro class I taught last week, we talked just briefly about doTERRA sourcing and why it sets doTERRA's oils apart from other people's oils where they source globally. And so they go directly to the farms and the farmers and they cut out the middlemen. They go to the distillers and the harvesters and cut out the middlemen that typically over generations have been buying or sourcing the oils from for the least amount of money from the people that need it most and then selling it to the companies. So those middlemen have been taken out of the equation and doTERRA goes directly to these people that you see in these pictures and in their sourcing videos to make a lasting impact for their generations upon generations of people because they're able to have a standard of living that wasn't capable prior. And also their Healing Hands Foundation was a foundation that they started several years after they initially started because they have a huge philanthropic heart for giving back to the communities that they work in. And so not just the ones where they source oils from, they will also, if you have a philanthropic ministry or something that your heart beats heavy for, doTERRA will partner with you and provide oils, provide financial support to be able to grant different projects and things that are heavy on your heart. So it's a really big deal knowing that they are not just an essential oil company. They have a large desire, excuse me, to meet and serve people on both sides of the bottle, both those of us, all of us who are using the oils on this side, as well as the people who are sourcing the oils on that side.
Perfect. I love that. This was
Yeah.
sort of
So
the same
go
Holly
ahead.
Buckets. Yeah. Oh, just because we're chatting a little bit longer, I'll go over this one. Basically the same graphic as the Holly Buckets versus the pipeline one, but definitely really consider, like, that was for me, where are you at? And now we'll talk a little bit more about the compensation plan. So the nitty gritty of how do you actually get paid? Toby and I didn't even know when we first started sharing. And the good thing about it is you really don't have to know much whatsoever to start in the business. So even if you're like, everything that you've said so far is great, I want to start, awesome. You really could not think about this at all and still make money in doTERRA, right? You're going to get paid regardless. But let's just talk about how you get paid. There's 4 major ways. I left out retail because you can sell retail, but most of us who do the business side want to help our customers get a wholesale account. So that's mainly what we're going to be talking about. But you can sell retail if you do doTERRA as a business. But you can earn money through Fast Start, it's called, our Power of 3 bonus, Unilevel, and a leadership bonus. And the only requirement to getting paid, like Toby said, is doing your own personal order, right? And if you're wanting to sell a product, most likely you're wanting to use it, right? It's so easy to do 100 PV LRP order. Like she said, for us to open a bakery, it was like $200,000, right? That bare minimum. And that's just like getting in the front door of stuff. Like, it's an insane amount. And that's just trying to get in. They say most people that start a business, fail within the first 3 to 5 years, right? So for me, when I decided to do a business, I was like, I just don't want any overhead. I just want to, if I want to make it cool, I'll put in as much time as possible. I want no cap, but I do not want to put in a lot of money. And so that's all it is the 100 PV, your personal order per month. Now, if you want to invest in your business in other ways, clearly Toby and I have done that over the years. We've hosted retreats and things like that. But really, when I first started and got got paid, I literally was just doing my own personal order. I was definitely not investing in any way, and I built a business. So it also gets paid weekly and monthly. So you'll get your fast start pay, which we'll talk about what that is in a second, on a weekly basis. And then once a month, you'll get your larger amount, larger meaning as you grow your business. At the beginning, that's the smaller amount, but as you grow your business, the larger amount will be your once a month. In the middle of the month, they do their larger pay. Now, this is a monthly, not yearly, a monthly average income for the different ranks, just to give you a little bit of a visual. And you can, of course, go and see doTERRA's some opportunity and earning disclosure summary, right? This is just a rough range. And you can see it's a range too, because some people hit Premier and they haven't stabilized it. Maybe they hit Premier and the next month they hit Elite and then they're stabilizing Premier. Or maybe, they've been a Premier for like 4 years. So that person that's been Premier for 4 years is going to be making more than the person who hit Premier, in 1 month. So you can sort of see there's a range. And then you'll see with some of the bonuses, maybe if they're getting their $1,500 bonus per month, you can see that'll change you at gold rank from earning $3,500 to almost $5,000. Because if you're not making your $1,500 monthly bonus, you can see that would be the difference. So that's sort of some of the ranges of pay, but this is the monthly earning average of doTERRA's wellness advocates. I like this visual before we go and talk about what is your fast start bonus, what is the power of 3, what is the unilevel and the leadership. You can sort of see that when you first start out, and this is one of the beginning major ranks to hit, which would be Elite, meaning you have 3,000 in sales overall underneath you, including your order. There's some smaller ranks before that, but Elite would be your first main rank. You can see almost all of your income is coming from your fast start bonus, which is basically your own personal sales. And then maybe if you have a leader by Elite, that's doing a business with you, you'd be making money on them. Most of your income is that, and maybe you're making a little bit off of power of 3. But as you can see, that's that purple. Now, if you go to where Toby and I are, you can see that's the smallest amount of income, right? Now we make the majority of our income from unilevel, which is what we call that residual income aspect, and then our leadership bonus for hitting the actual rank of Blue Diamond and maintaining it, right? So you can see as you grow in ranks, how these different percentages grow, and that's how you get paid in doTERRA, right? And they sort of stack upon each other.
So Melody, just really
Yeah.
fast before we throw in there, is
Yeah.
unilevel, that green, just to give you an idea of what that means, is 10 years ago when I first started, I told you all my girlfriends and my friends and then their family and members and all those people are still ordering today.
Right.
Not only do they order their own LRP, a lot of times they'll order more.
Yeah.
A lot of times they've replaced a lot of their healthcare, their home care, everything in their home. So their orders are larger than 100 PV a month. In fact, I was just talking to a girl who's been in my team for a while, and we were laughing because it's like, how with a family of 6, how could we keep our LRP to 100 PV a month? We literally can't. Taking care of everybody's health needs with vitamins and toothpaste and shampoo, conditioner, all the things. So that unilevel is simply meaning I have over 20,000 happy customers in our team that over the last 10 years, they still order every month. Like
Totally.
Melody said, we can love our cleaning products, we can love our makeup products, but it is not stuff that we use every day as a family, and doTERRA truly is. So just wanted to add that piece in, because
Yeah, I love that. That for me was the thing that I was like, if I can get good customer service, if I can educate, if I can love on people, if I can get products that connect with them, these are products that people order month after month after month, or at least, like we said, 65% of people order once every 3 months. That is your foundational residual income. And we'll talk about more unilevel in a second, and why doTERRA pays better on unilevel than most other businesses. So we have the fast start, we have the power of 3 bonus, and I'm going to go over these individually. We have our supporting, right? So this is introducing people, then you're organizing them in your organization, then you're supporting them so they continue to order. And then as you become a leader, then you get leadership bonuses. So that's your 4 streams of income with doTERRA. So with compensation plan, you get paid 20%. I don't know why it says 25. That's a little typo. You get paid 20%. I think, yeah, maybe this one graphic's wrong. Okay, we'll not look at this graphic. Okay, I think I pulled the graphic from something else. You're gonna get 20% on whatever you personally sell. So for example, if you sold a kit that was 200 PV, we go off the point value, not the dollar amount, you're gonna get $40. And you get that 20% high commission for the first 60 days of the customer. So I've had customers, one lady actually last month got a kit that was like, I think it was like $150. Then she got it. She started learning more on my Instagram. Then she was like, oh my gosh, I need more. She did a $400 order next to it. So overall that month, she spent $500 because she was so into these products, right? And so I got 20% on both of those orders. Now, the lady who enrolled me got 10%. And when this first happened to me, this is when I was like, what? So when I first started the business, one of the ladies that I had invested in, I had helped teach her classes in the beginning. I had supported her. She went and taught her own class. I was off eating dinner with my family, didn't even know she had a class that night. She sold 2,000 in sales that one class. So that means, right, she was going to make $400. And me, myself, when I'm out with my family eating dinner, I made $200 without doing anything at that moment because I had invested in her. I had trained her and all of that. And so you can see how this fast start, right? That quick money you make on sales, how it really gives you three levels. So it goes 20% to the person who enrolled, 10% to the person who enrolled that person, and then 5%. So it's paid on three levels. This graphic's incorrect. So sorry about that. I must have pulled something earlier. So 20%, 10%, 5%, three levels of fast start, and you get paid that for 60 days. Now, after those 60 days, you're going to get paid a different amount, and I'll go over that in a second. Now, when you sign up a customer, you can place them on your organization. And one way to get a great bonus that literally could change your life is by helping people get on our loyalty rewards program, our monthly ordering program. Now, they don't have to, and people like to know that, right? When you order with doTERRA, you don't have to ever order again. But if you do a great job of educating and supporting, they're going to want to because the products work great. So if they get on the loyalty rewards program, that's the best for them. They get the most savings. Then you get a bonus for that. You get a bonus for helping other people get on the loyalty rewards program. And if they order at least 100 PV and you have them placed, here's you at the top in green. If you find 3 people that do their 100 LRP underneath you and your overall volume in sales is 600 PV, you get a $50 bonus. Now, at first, maybe that's not a big deal. For some people, that's life-changing. That's covering half of their LRP order, right? Now, if you teach those 3 people, probably your business partners, or maybe your friends that are thinking about the business, to do the same thing, and they get 3 friends, and they order 100 PV on the LRP, and then your next friend does it, and your next friend, and all of those people are doing it, you at the top now get a $250 bonus because you helped these 3 people get their $50 bonus. And then if you do that one more time and these people down on this level get their $50 bonus by helping 3 people, you at the top get your $1,500 bonus. So I personally get my $1,500 bonus every single month just for helping people get on the loyalty rewards program in an organized fashion. And they have it organized this way because it helps you hit the most ranks the quickest, right? As well. So there's a strategy to it. And you can actually do this multiple times. So as you grow in the leadership ranks, if you get more business partners at the top and they get more people on the LRP, you could get not 1, but 2 or even 3 $1,500 bonuses per month, right? Just for helping people get on our loyalty rewards program. Now let's talk about the compensation plan, that unilevel bonus, which is really that residual income aspect. That means you're getting that little percentage off of everyone's orders underneath you. Like Toby said, she has about 20,000 customers. Now, she didn't sign 20,000 people up, but she signed up people that signed up people that signed up people, and it ended up with 20,000 people under her, right? Now, she probably doesn't get income off of every single one, but with doTERRA, we get paid on a true 7 levels, meaning that if there's some levels that people aren't ordering, we could get paid off someone that's about 20 levels deep because we're still, the computer is going to pay somebody out in there. So we get such great compensation. Now, a lot of companies, they pay you the highest percentage. So after that 20% income you get off of the customer's order for the first 60 days, now it goes to anywhere from 2 to 7%. Now, if you keep them higher up, you get 2%. And as they go lower, meaning you're helping build a business, you're staying with your doTERRA, you're actually building a business and helping other people do it, you're getting paid more money. Now, a lot of other businesses give you the higher percentage, that 7% at the top, meaning when you first start, your first couple customers, you get paid a higher percentage on them, right? So you're thinking, I'm making more money. But over time, as you build your business and you get more and more customers and they get customers and so on, you're like, well, why aren't I getting an actual really good income, right? Because they switched your levels and they pay you the most percentage on the least amount of people, and they pay you the least amount on the most amount of people. And doTERRA does the opposite. They want you to be long-term, and they reward people who stay with them long-term, meaning that the longer you build the business, the more amount you're going to be getting 7% off of people that are ordering under you month after month after month, and you're not doing anything. They log in, they place their order because it works, and you get that. So hypothetically, if you had 3 people on your first level, $9, then 9 people on your next level, this is sort of like building that power of 3 $1,500 bonus, right? $49, and then it goes on. You can see as your levels grow, you're going to be making that much just on that residual income aspect of the unilevel. Now, this is what I like to look at: doTERRA versus other companies. And why does doTERRA's compensation plan work better? It's an inverted pyramid. We get the smallest percentage on the least amount of people, the 3. And as it goes to the largest amount of people that are probably at the bottom, right? You're more customers because people are doing the business under you. You get paid the highest percentage. Most other companies, and this is the same amount of customers in both businesses. In this business over here, as you stayed with the company, you worked, you did all the things, you would be only getting $12,000 for doing the same amount of effort, and we'd be making $32,000. That goes to show you the different percentages really matter in a compensation plan when you're deciding to go with a company. You can also make money, and I want to show this one first and then I'll go back. Here's a comparison, and you can see why, how does doTERRA make more money? That's a big difference, is because you can see in a lot of other of these top network marketing companies, their highest ranks are making this amount, which is an amazing amount of income. But look at doTERRA's. A lot more money, right? Because they pay better for long term. And so you can see, even starting out, doTERRA's compensation plan really works well. These are the top 6 ranks. And you can see, compared to a lot of others, we just blow it out of the water, right? With how much our wellness advocates can make compared to others. And I'll go back to one other thing, but even looking at Young Living versus doTERRA, 2 different essential oil companies, I just want to give a side-by-side comparison over ranks and the amount of people. So to get to the highest rank in doTERRA, Presidential Diamond, which you can actually hit Presidential and do it over again, a second time, over again, a third time. Someone's actually going for hitting Presidential Diamond a third time, meaning they built to Presidential and they have a whole nother organization. doTERRA allows that. They never cap you. But in Young Living, if you want to go to their top organization, which is roughly the same amount of income as ours in the top, you have to, in monthly overall sales, have 1.5 million in your entire organization per month to hit Royal Crown Diamond. In doTERRA, not that your organization would only have this amount of volume, because you probably would have more, because no organization is built perfectly, right? But the minimum that you would have to have it to hit Presidential Diamond in doTERRA is 162,000 in sales per month, compared to 1.5 million. That is insane, right? Complete different. If you go to Diamond, right, 36,000 versus their Platinum is probably about the same pay, 100,000. Completely different amounts of overall volume that you need to produce in order to hit those ranks. Now let's go back to this leadership bonus. Another way that you can make money in doTERRA, and we showed you that, is that leadership bonus. So as you stay with the company, you can get bonuses. Those bonuses start at the rank of Premier, right? I said Elite was one of your first major ranks as you go. Then Premier is the one where you first finally have maybe 2 business partners under you. And so they're going to give you a leadership bonus, an empowerment bonus. As long as you sign up 1 person that month, you can get 1 share, which is roughly anywhere from $160 to to $220 as a bonus on top of your fast start, on top of your power of 3 bonus, on top of your unilevel. You'll get this empowerment bonus for doing the business underneath them. And then as you go to, let me make sure we get everyone muted. Alexandra, do you mind muting yourself? The next one is a rank bonus. So when you get to silver and above, you're going to get these pools that get divided. So it's 2% of the monthly overall volume for doTERRA gets divided amongst these leadership ranks and whoever hits the rank that month, and you'll get a rank bonus. So those are roughly $150. So as silver, you can get the empowerment bonus, and you can also get this other rank bonus, right? Another leadership bonus. So now we have 2 bonuses we're adding. Then as a gold, you can get the empowerment bonus twice, and the rank bonus you get 5 of if you hit gold. So instead of $150 for 1 share at silver, you get 5 shares times 150. Now you're up to 750. Then at platinum, now you're at 10 shares. So you're roughly getting a $1,500 bonus for hitting platinum. So as you can sort of see how it starts stacking one on top of the other when you hit these leadership bonuses. So silver gets 1 share, gold 5, platinum 10. And then once you hit to diamond, blue diamond and presidential, then they're actually taking 1% of the global volume and they're dividing it amongst those top ranks. And those ranks are pretty big bonuses. So anywhere from $2,500 up to probably like 10K plus extra per month just for hitting those ranks in a sense on top of your other pay. So those are the 4 different ways you get paid in doTERRA. Your fast start, which is what you'll mainly be making when you first start, right? Your sales or the people underneath you that are selling, you'll get that fast start that's paid weekly. Then as you grow and you help people get on the loyalty rewards program, you'll get that $50 bonus or the $250 or eventually the $1,500 bonus. Then you'll get that unilevel as people start ordering, right? And they go past their first 2 months in doTERRA. Then you place them on your team. You'll start getting that 2 to 7%. That one, that's going to really get bigger as you grow. Because right at the beginning, you get 2%. And as your team grows, it goes to the 7% the further down you have people. And then lastly, you'll get the leadership bonuses. So those are the 4 ways you can get paid in doTERRA. So in a sense, the question is, what do you want to create? Some people truly just want to pay for their loyalty rewards order, which is awesome. That means you could be getting your natural health care, right? Your wellness, your stuff that you normally buy at Target or Amazon for free with doTERRA just by sharing a product that you love, right? Maybe you want to supplement your income. You make $500, $1,500, $5,000. You can do that with doTERRA too by building a business, a team underneath you. Or maybe you want to fully replace your income or yourself and your husband's, right? And you can multiply your income. So in a sense, you can sort of see how as you grow with doTERRA, those possibilities really open up because you have those different streams of income within doTERRA that make your business grow over time. Anything you want to add to that, Toby?
I did all 3. So
Yes.
I started when I first started, I truly really just wanted to be able to purchase the oils that I wanted to use for myself and on my children because my husband thought they were voodoo. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to dig into the family finances. I'll just, do a little the sharing, and when my girlfriends enroll, I'll take that commission and I will spend that on my monthly LRP. And so I saw that investment as an investment in our health as well, because I bought the smallest little kit when I first started. Talk about low cost overhead. I literally bought the intro kit, which if you're new here, it was the lavender, lemon, and the peppermint, the tiny little 5 mils. And that's how I first got started with doTERRA. So my LRPs, literally, my goal was to add 1 product for a self-care product, a home care product, and then 1 new oil every single month, okay? As well as the Lifelong Vitality Pack, because I wanted to get to know everything. I wanted to get to know the product. I wanted to experience it. I'm a very genuine person. And so I knew if I was going to align myself with a network marketing company, I had to be all on board with the products. And here's the thing is I didn't think that all of doTERRA's would be amazing. Products would be amazing. I actually thought I would just love the oils. So I fully intended to be like, try it and be like, well, not have to enlist those other ones. But anyways, all of that to say, I started off just wanting to pay for my own order. And at that time, initially, we also were renting out our house as a vacation rental in the summertime while Brad was gone. So that means the kids and I would go somewhere else. And so my second, after I got my LRP paid for, I remember I said I paid for it once out of pocket, like boom, done, goal, check that box so fast. After that, I said, hey, Brad, I think it'd be, how much would I have to make with doTERRA, bring home with doTERRA to be able to stay in our house in the summer, not rent it as a vacation rental? And we're talking, we rent this during the summer, it pays for our mortgage for the whole year. So it was not a small number. I had that amount. This is supplementing my income, right? The second level that Melody had on that picture previous. Before the next rental season.
That's amazing.
So before the next rental season. So that was 6 months. We had already taken bookings, so we had to go through with it. But after that, we didn't need it anymore. And then we had to truly replace income because my husband's income from his job, his lodges went away completely eventually. They had to sell the lodges, ended up being a massive business issue where they took us to court. So here I was also paying the family finances and paying litigation fees. So some people have really hard financial situations that you're going through right now or were put through in the last couple of years. This is an answer. A lot of times we talk to people about oils as a health answer, but there are people in your lives that are hurting on a financial level as well, and they need to know about this business opportunity as well. It made a huge difference in my life. And now we have 4 children. 10 years later, my husband and I homeschool, work out of the house together. We travel together. And we basically get to customize our life. And so really, if you're here on this call, whether you've been with doTERRA for a while or you're brand new and you're just kind of trying to see if this is something that you would want to align with, think of what you would want for yourself, for your family in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I never would have done this when I very first started. In fact, I remember when somebody put up the rank averages and I looked at the diamond paycheck and I cried because I was like, that's stupid money. Like that would never be possible for me. Literally had tears. And I'm not an emotional person, or I wasn't an emotional person. But it only took us 2 years to even get to that, to get to diamond. So if in 2 years you need that income in your house, for your family, you can make that happen. And Melody made it happen even sooner. So it's very definitely possible. So yeah, I think you don't have to think, oh, you want to start out and be a presidential diamond right now. You can just identify with wanting to supplement your income, get your own oils paid for, your own healthcare paid for. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Owning your own business, having your own healthcare paid for, and literally having that come from your own business. So yeah, it's pretty neat. We love
The
it.
other thing that I love, and I love what Toby shared, that I love about doTERRA is it really fits with your life too. As I originally started sharing, just more about, helps with the ears, helps with this for mom issues. Now I love talking about things that I currently go through, hormone balancing, right? Hair growth, right? We have our new metabolic system, skincare, anti-aging, all of these things. So it's a business that, I have some ladies on my team who are really into pets. I'm not a pet person that much, right? Their whole business is geared towards how can you use essential oils on your animals because there's a niche markets for everything. So no matter what your passions are, there are so many different ways doTERRA can fit within your passion and the markets that you're connecting with. And your customers might be different than my customers, and that's great. That's what makes doTERRA so awesome is we need everyone in their own way to show up and serve people because I might not connect with someone that you need to connect with, right? And you can build this entire business with never stepping on Instagram, Facebook, social media. Or if you really love that, you can do it all the way on that and never do an in-person meeting. We've seen people be successful in both ways. So truly, you can build it however you want with the gifts that you have and the way you need to show up in that season. And you can also change it depending on your circumstances, right? We had to go through through crazy times, the last couple of years, and we all had to pivot in our business, and the business still works, right? And we've learned how to
does.
do and connect with people and things like that. So I know we hit the hour mark. I'm going to stop the recording, and then we can answer some Q&A questions if anybody has any questions, but let me just stop that real quick, and then we will